It's easy to feel overwhelmed when there's so much happening around us. But when you learn how to focus on the things you can control, everything starts to shift. You become more intentional, more productive, and more in control of your life. And it doesn't take a huge change. It just takes the right mindset and the discipline to focus on what's truly important. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can start doing that. We'll talk about how to eliminate the noise, the distractions, and the things that don't serve you. I'll share practical tips and strategies that will help you regain control of your time, your energy, and your attention. This isn't just about being more productive. It's about living a life that feels aligned with who you really are and what you truly want. Imagine waking up every day with a clear purpose, knowing exactly where to put your energy, and feeling confident that you're making real progress toward your goals. I want you to stay with me through this because when you start focusing on what really matters, you'll see a change. It's time to stop letting life happen to you. It's time to take control. Let's dive in. Number 1, the discipline of single-minded focus. When was the last time you sat down, shut everything out, and worked on something with your full attention? No phone buzzing, no background noise pulling you away, no distractions stealing your focus, just you and the task in front of you. Think about that for a second, because the truth is most people today have forgotten what real focus feels like. We live in a world that's always calling for our attention. Notifications pop up every few minutes. People want our time, our energy, our minds, and most of the time we give it to them without even thinking. We don't guard our focus, we don't protect our attention. And before we know it, the day is gone, the week is gone, the year is gone, and we're still in the same place, wondering why we haven't moved forward. This is why I want to talk to you about single-minded focus. Not just regular focus, the kind where you're half in and half out. I'm talking about the discipline of locking in on one thing, cutting out everything else, and refusing to let go until it's done. That kind of focus is rare. But if you can develop it, if you can train yourself to be fully present, fully engaged, and fully committed, then let me tell you, your life will never be the same. It all starts with a decision to stop letting distractions control you, a decision to stop wasting time on things that don't matter, a decision to take back control of your mind. That's where discipline comes in. Because let's be honest, staying focused isn't easy. It's tempting to check your phone every few minutes. It's easier to do 5 different things at once, instead of finishing one thing completely. But let me ask you, where has that way of living gotten you? Has it helped you? Has it made you more successful? Or has it kept you stuck, feeling busy, but never really getting anywhere? The truth is, most people don't lack effort. They don't lack ambition. They lack focus. They start something, but they don't stick with it. They jump from one idea to another, hoping something will work. And when they don't see results fast enough, they move on to the next thing. But let me tell you, success doesn't work like that. If you want to achieve something, you've got to plant yourself in it. You've got to give it your full attention. You've got to say, this is what I'm doing, and I won't stop until I get there. That's the mindset that changes lives. I'll tell you something I've learned over the years. People who succeed aren't always the smartest. They aren't always the most talented, but they are the most focused. They pick something and they go all in. They don't let distractions pull them in different directions. They don't chase after every new thing that comes along. They commit, they put in the work, and they stay on track no matter how long it takes. Now I know what you might be thinking. Jim, I try to focus, but my mind keeps jumping all over the place. I hear you, but that's not an excuse. That's a sign that you need to train your focus like a muscle. Think about it. If you never exercise, your body gets weak. The same thing happens with your mind. If you never practice deep focus, your attention span gets weaker. And in a world full of distractions, a weak mind doesn't stand a chance. So how do you train your focus? Start small. Pick one thing you need to do, and give it your full attention for 30 minutes. No phone, no background noise. No switching between tasks. Just you and the work. And when that 30 minutes is up, take a break, then do it again. Over time, you'll notice something. Your ability to focus will get stronger. You'll be able to work longer without getting distracted. You'll get more done in less time. And most importantly, you'll start seeing real progress in your life. Now here's something most people don't realize. Focus isn't just about work. It's about life. It's about relationships. It's about the time you spend with your family, your friends, the people who matter. How many times have you been with someone, but you weren't really there? Your mind was somewhere else. You were thinking about work, checking your phone, distracted by 100 different things, and the moment passed you by. Let me tell you, one of the greatest skills you can develop is learning how to be fully present. When you're working, work. When you're with your family, be with your family. When you're having a conversation, really listen. Give your full attention to whatever is in front of you. Because when you do that, everything changes. Your work gets better. Your relationships get stronger. Your life becomes more meaningful. But none of this happens by accident. It takes effort. It takes discipline. It takes making a choice every single day to control your focus instead of letting the world control it for you. Now you might be wondering, Jim, how do I actually do this? How do I build the kind of focus that changes my life? Let me give you a few simple steps. First, get clear on what really matters to you. If you don't know what's important, you'll waste time on what's not. So sit down, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what do I want? What is worth my time, my energy, my life? Once you answer that, make those things your priority. Second, eliminate distractions. Identify the things that steal your focus, your phone, your TV, your endless scrolling through social media. Be honest with yourself. If something isn't helping you move forward, it's holding you back. Cut it out. Third, create routines that support your focus. Wake up early. Plan your day. Work in focused blocks of time. Take breaks when you need to, but always come back to the task at hand. Make this a habit, and before you know it, staying focused will feel natural. Fourth, protect your time. Don't say yes to everything. Don't let other people pull you away from what matters. Learn to say no to distractions, because every time you say no to something unimportant, you're saying yes to your goals. And finally, be patient. Focus isn't built overnight. It takes time, just like anything worthwhile. But if you stay with it, if you practice every day, I promise you, your ability to focus will transform. And when it does, your life will transform too. So here's the challenge. Starting today, make a commitment. A commitment to train your focus. A commitment to be present. A commitment to give your full attention to what truly matters. Do that, and you'll accomplish more. You'll grow faster, and you'll start seeing results that you never thought possible. Because at the end of the day, your success, your happiness, your future, it all comes down to this. Can you focus? Can you shut out the noise? Lock in on your goals, and refuse to quit until you get there. If you can do that, if you can develop the discipline of single-minded focus, then let me tell you, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. Number 2, stop wasting time on what doesn't serve you. Have you ever reached the end of the day and felt like you got nothing done? Like you were busy all day, but didn't really make any progress? It's frustrating, isn't it? You start the morning with good intentions. You tell yourself you're going to be productive. You're going to get things done. But then distractions show up. You check your phone, scroll through social media, watch a few videos, answer some messages, and before you know it, hours have slipped away. Then you tell yourself, I'll start fresh tomorrow. But tomorrow comes, and the same thing happens again. Now let me tell you something that most people don't want to hear. If you don't control your time, the world will control it for you. If you don't decide what's important, life will pull you in every direction. And the worst part, you won't even realize it's happening until years have passed, and you're still in the same place. That's why today, I want to talk to you about something that can change your life. Stopping the waste, stopping the habits, the distractions, the time stealers that are keeping you from where you want to be. Because I can promise you this, if you don't stop wasting time on what doesn't serve you, you'll never have enough time for what actually matters. You see, most people don't think about time the right way. They think, I have all the time in the world. But let me ask you, how many years do you think you have left? How many months? How many weeks? If you're lucky, maybe 40, 50 more years. But if you break that down, it's not as much as you think. And the problem isn't just how much time you have, it's how much time you're wasting. Think about your daily routine. How much of your time is spent doing things that move you forward, and how much is spent on things that don't? Be honest with yourself. Because if you really take a look at your habits, you'll see something that most people don't want to face. Most of what we do every day is just keeping us busy, not making us better. Let's talk about distractions. Social media, TV, endless entertainment, notifications pulling you in every direction. Now don't get me wrong, these things aren't bad by themselves, but when they start controlling your life, when they take up more of your time than your goals, your dreams, your personal growth, that's when they become a problem. And here's the scary part. Most people don't even realize it's happening. They tell themselves, it's just a little bit of time, but a little bit over and over again adds up to a lifetime. And it's not just distractions, it's the people in your life. Who are you spending your time with? Are they lifting you up or dragging you down? Are they helping you grow or keeping you stuck? You have to take a hard look at this, because the people around you will either push you toward your best self or pull you away from it. And I'll tell you something, some people won't like it when you start valuing your time. When you stop wasting time on negativity, drama, useless conversations, or meaningless relationships, some people will try to pull you back. Why? Because they're comfortable where they are. And when they see you trying to change, it reminds them that they're not. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone your time if it's not making you better. Your time is your life. And if you want a better life, you have to protect your time like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. Now let's talk about excuses. Because some people will hear this and say, Jim, I try to focus, but life keeps getting in the way. Listen, I get it. Life happens. Responsibilities, work, family, things come up. But let me be honest with you. Most of the time, it's not life getting in the way. It's you. It's the choices you make every single day. You have to stop telling yourself that you don't have time. You have time. You just need to take control of it. Look at your day. What's stealing your time? What's keeping you from doing the things that actually matter? Cut it out. Be ruthless about it. Because if you don't, one day you'll wake up and realize that your time is gone. And once it's gone, you don't get it back. So what do? How do you stop wasting time and start taking control? First, get clear on what's important. If you don't know what matters, you'll spend your time on things that don't. Sit down and ask yourself, what do I want out of life? What am I working toward? When you know your priorities, you can start cutting out the things that don't align with them. Second, set boundaries. If something isn't serving you, if it's not helping you grow, if it's not making your life better, let it go. That might mean limiting time on social media. It might mean walking away from toxic relationships. It might mean saying no to things that don't bring you closer to your goals. And let me tell you, saying no is powerful. Because every time you say no to something that wastes your time, you're saying yes to something that matters. Third, take control of your daily habits. Your future is being shaped by what you do every single day. If your habits are leading you nowhere, your life will go nowhere. So change them. Wake up earlier. Plan your day. Focus on meaningful work. Spend time learning, growing, improving, and stop letting distractions pull you off track. Fourth, hold yourself accountable. It's easy to make excuses. It's easy to tell yourself you'll do it later, but later turns into never. If you really want to stop wasting time, you have to be honest with yourself. Ask yourself every night, did I use my time wisely today? If the answer is no, then fix it tomorrow. Keep yourself in check, because no one else is going to do it for you. And finally, be intentional. The people who succeed in life aren't the ones who have the most talent, the best connections, or the luckiest breaks. They're the ones who use their time wisely. They're the ones who wake up every day with a purpose. They're the ones who don't waste their energy on things that don't matter. And you can be that person. You just have to decide. Number 3, the link between focus and success. Have you ever met someone who seemed to have everything figured out? Someone who kept moving forward, achieving one goal after another, while others stayed stuck in the same place? Have you ever wondered why some people keep winning, while others keep struggling? I'll tell you why. It's focus. The ability to lock in on something and give it everything you've got until you get the result you want. That's the difference. And the truth is, if you can't focus, you can't succeed. Most people go through life scattered. One day they want this. The next day they change their mind. They start something, get excited, but then get distracted, and move on to the next thing before they even finish. And because of that, they never build momentum. They never see real results. They never move forward. They stay stuck in the same cycle, spinning their wheels but going nowhere. And the worst part, they don't even realize they're doing it. They blame luck, circumstances, or other people, when the real problem is that they never focused long enough to win. If you study the people who succeed, whether it's in business, sports, relationships, or personal growth, you'll see something in common. They don't try to do everything at once. They don't jump from one thing to another, hoping something works out. They pick something that matters, they commit to it, and they put in the work until they get the result. And that's what makes all the difference. Because success isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's not about having the best resources or knowing the right people. It's about the ability to focus on one thing and do it well. Think about it like this. If you want to build strength, you don't go to the gym and lift a little bit of every weight in the room without a plan. That won't get you anywhere. But if you pick a weight, focus on it, and train consistently, you'll get stronger. The same rule applies to everything in life. If you want success, you have to focus your energy. You can't spread yourself too thin, trying to chase everything at once. You have to decide what's important and lock in on it. And let me tell you something important. Focus is not just about what you do, it's about what you don't do. Because every time you choose to focus on something, you're also choosing to ignore something else. And that's hard for a lot of people. They want to do everything. They want to say yes to every opportunity. They want to keep up with every trend, every conversation, every piece of entertainment. And because of that, their energy is all over the place. They can't focus because they're too busy trying to keep up with everything that doesn't even matter. If you want to be successful, you have to be willing to make trade-offs. You have to be willing to give up the things that don't serve you so you can fully commit to the things that do. That means turning off distractions. That means saying no to things that pull you away from your goals. That means cutting out the noise and focusing on what actually moves you forward. And let me tell you, it won't be easy. The world is designed to steal your focus. Social media, notifications, entertainment, everything around you is fighting for your attention. If you're not careful, you'll spend your whole life being pulled in different directions and never actually move forward. This is why focus is one of the greatest skills you can develop. It's not something you're born with, it's something you train. Just like you train your body in the gym, you have to train your mind to focus. You have to build the discipline to ignore distractions, to stick with something even when it gets hard, to finish what you start. Because I'll tell you right now, most people don't finish. Most people quit when things get tough. Most people get distracted before they ever see results. But the people who win, they keep going. They keep their eyes on the prize. They don't stop until they get what they came for. And I want you to think about this. If you could improve your focus by just a little bit every day, where would you be in a year? If you stopped letting distractions pull you away, if you committed to something and stuck with it, if you gave up the habits that waste your time, how much progress could you make? You'd be unstoppable. Because focus compounds. The more you practice it, the stronger it gets. The stronger it gets, the more results you see. And once you start seeing results, everything changes. You start building momentum. You start believing in yourself. You start realizing that success isn't about luck. It's about discipline, consistency, and focus. But you have to start now. You can't wait for the perfect moment. You can't keep telling yourself that you'll get serious later. Later turns into never. You have to take control of your focus today. You have to decide what matters and give it your full attention. And you have to be ruthless about it. You can't let distractions steal your time. You can't let other people's opinions pull you off track. You can't let small setbacks make you quit. So let me challenge you right now. Take a look at your life. Ask yourself, where am I wasting my focus? What am I giving my energy to that isn't moving me forward? Be honest with yourself, because if you don't fix it now, you'll look back years from now and wish you had. And let me tell you, regret is one of the worst things to live with. But here's the good news. You can make the change today. You can decide right now to take control of your focus. You can start training yourself to lock in on what matters, to eliminate what doesn't, and to follow through until you succeed. It won't be easy. It will take discipline. It will take sacrifice. But if you stick with it, if you commit to it, if you develop the skill of focus, there's nothing you can't achieve. The question is, are you ready? Are you ready to stop wasting time and start taking your life seriously? Are you ready to stop letting distractions steal your future? Are you ready to focus on what actually matters and give it everything you've got? If you are, then start now, not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Because the sooner you focus, the sooner you win. Number 4, building a distraction-free environment. Do you know why most people never reach their full potential? It's not because they lack talent. It's not because they don't have the right opportunities. It's because they're surrounded by distractions. Every single day they wake up with the best intentions, ready to work on their goals. But before they even get started, something pulls them away. Their phone lights up with a notification. They turn on the TV for just a few minutes. They check their email, scroll through social media, or get caught up in conversations that add nothing to their lives. And before they know it, hours have passed. Their energy is drained. Their motivation is gone. And they tell themselves, I'll get serious tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. If you want to be successful, if you want to achieve the things that matter to you, you have to take control of your environment. Because here's the truth. Your environment is shaping you, whether you realize it or not. The people you're around, the spaces you spend your time in, the habits you allow to creep into your daily life. All of these things are either helping you move forward or holding you back. And if you don't take control of them, they will control you. I want you to think about something for a moment. Have you ever noticed that when you're in a quiet place, free from distractions, it's easier to concentrate? Your mind feels clearer. You get more done in less time. You feel productive. But the moment distractions start creeping in, everything changes. Your focus gets weaker. Your thoughts get scattered. You start jumping from one thing to another, never finishing what you start. And before you know it, the day is over, and you've barely made any real progress. That's the power of your environment. It can either support your focus or destroy it. Now you might be thinking, well, I can't control everything around me. And that's true. There will always be distractions. There will always be people who try to pull you off track. There will always be things fighting for your attention. But here's what you can do. You can build an environment that makes it easier for you to stay focused. You can create a space that supports your goals instead of working against them. The first thing you have to do is eliminate the unnecessary. Look around you. What's pulling you away from your work? What's making it harder for you to concentrate? Is it your phone buzzing every few minutes? Is it background noise that constantly interrupts your thoughts? Is it clutter on your desk, making it harder for you to focus? Whatever it is, get rid of it. If your phone is distracting you, put it in another room. If notifications keep pulling you away, turn them off. If your workspace is messy, clean it up. These small changes might not seem like a big deal, but they add up. The fewer distractions you have, the easier it is to stay focused. But it's not just about removing distractions. It's also about adding the right things to your environment. You need to create a space that motivates you, that reminds you of your goals, that makes it easier for you to do the things that matter. If you want to read more, put books where you can see them. If you want to work out, set up your exercise equipment in a place that encourages you to use it. If you want to build a business, create a workspace that feels professional and inspiring. Your environment should push you in the direction of your goals, not pull you away from them. And let's talk about the people in your environment. because they matter more than you think. If you're surrounded by people who are constantly negative, who complain about everything, who have no ambition, who spend their time gossiping or wasting their days, guess what? That energy is going to rub off on you. Whether you realize it or not, the people around you are influencing your mindset, your habits, and your level of focus. If you want to be successful, you have to be intentional about who you spend your time with. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, who inspire you, who push you to be better. If you don't have those kinds of people around you yet, then spend more time alone working on yourself. Because being alone and focused is better than being surrounded by distractions. Now I know some of you are thinking, but what if I live in a noisy home? What if I work in a place where I can't control my surroundings? And I understand that. You won't always have the perfect environment, but you can still create pockets of focus. You can still set boundaries. You can still carve out time where you shut everything else out and commit to working on what matters.
Yes.
That might mean waking up earlier when the world is still quiet. That might mean finding a corner where you can be alone with your thoughts. That might mean using noise-canceling headphones to block out distractions. Whatever it takes, you have to protect your focus, because if you don't, no one else will. And let me tell you something. The people who succeed, they're not the ones with the most talent. They're not the ones with the best opportunities handed to them. They're the ones who learn how to focus, who discipline themselves, who set up their environment for success, and stick with it. They understand that their time is valuable, that their attention is their greatest asset, and that every moment spent on something that doesn't matter is a moment stolen from their future. So ask yourself this: is your environment helping you or hurting you? Are you setting yourself up for success, or are you letting distractions control your life? Be honest with yourself, because if you don't make a change now, nothing will change. You'll keep struggling to focus. You'll keep wondering why you're not making progress. You'll keep feeling like time is slipping away while your goals stay out of reach. But the good news is, you can change it. You can take control. You can start today by making small adjustments that make a big difference. You can eliminate distractions. Create a space that supports your goals. Surround yourself with the right people, and build an environment that makes it easier to focus. It won't be easy. It will take effort. But I promise you, once you take control of your environment, your focus improves. Your productivity skyrockets. Your goals become clearer. And before you know it, you're making more progress in a few months than most people make in years. Number 5. The importance of daily reflection. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to get caught up in the rush of life? You wake up, and before you even have a moment to breathe, your mind is already racing. There's work to do, responsibilities to take care of, messages waiting for a reply, and a long list of things that need your attention. The world moves fast, and if you're not careful, you'll spend your entire life just trying to keep up. But here's the question. In the middle of all this noise, when do you take the time to stop and think? When do you sit down, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, am I spending my time on the right things? Am I moving in the direction I really want to go? Most people don't. Most people are so caught up in doing that, they never take the time to reflect. They just go through the motions, day after day, following the same routine, facing the same problems, without ever stepping back to see if they're actually making progress. And that's dangerous, because if you're not careful, you'll wake up one day and realize you've been running in circles. You've been busy, but you haven't been growing. You've been working, but you haven't been moving forward. That's why daily reflection is so important. It's not just about thinking. It's about giving yourself the space to evaluate your life, your decisions, your habits, and your progress. It's about making sure that what you're doing every day is actually leading you somewhere meaningful. Because if you don't take the time to reflect, you might end up spending years chasing things that don't matter, working hard but never really getting anywhere. Now you might be thinking, well, I don't have time for that. My schedule is packed. I have responsibilities. I have deadlines. I can't just sit around thinking. And I understand that. But here's what you need to know. Reflection doesn't have to take hours. It doesn't mean sitting in silence for an entire day. It can be just a few minutes in the morning before the world wakes up. It can be a quiet moment at night before you go to sleep. It can be a simple practice of asking yourself, what did I do today that moved me closer to my goals? What did I waste time on? What can I do better tomorrow? Most people don't ask these questions. They just live on autopilot. They wake up, go through the same motions, and fall into bed exhausted, only to repeat the cycle again the next day. And then they wonder why they're not making progress. But here's the truth. If you never stop to reflect, you will never improve. You will never see what's holding you back. You will never recognize the small adjustments that could make a big difference in your life. Think about an athlete. If they want to get better, they don't just keep training blindly. They study their performance. They watch their past game. They figure out what they did right, what they did wrong, and what they need to improve. And then they make adjustments. That's how they grow. That's how they win. And the same principle applies to your life. If you want to grow, if you want to succeed, you have to take the time to reflect. You have to study your own actions. You have to see where you're making progress and where you're falling short. And here's the other thing. Reflection isn't just about looking at what's going wrong. It's also about recognizing what's going right. It's about taking a moment to appreciate how far you've come, to acknowledge the small wins, to remind yourself that even if you're not where you want to be yet, you're still making progress. And that's important. Because if you don't take the time to appreciate your progress, you'll always feel like you're failing. You'll always feel like you're not doing enough. And that kind of mindset will drain your motivation. But when you take a moment to reflect, when you remind yourself of the things you've already overcome, you gain confidence. You see that you are capable of growth, and that gives you the energy to keep going. But let me be clear. Reflection isn't just about sitting and thinking. It's about using what you learn to make real changes. It's about taking the insights you gain and applying them to your life. Because if you reflect but never act on what you discover, you're just wasting time. The purpose of reflection is to give you clarity so you can make better decisions. It's to help you see where you need to make adjustments, so that each day you're getting a little bit better. So let me ask you, when was the last time you really sat down and thought about your life? Not just about what's happening, but about whether you're actually moving in the right direction. When was the last time you asked yourself if your daily actions are aligned with your long-term goals? When was the last time you checked to see if you're making progress, or if you're just going through the motions? If you haven't done that in a while, it's time to start. Because if you don't, you're going to wake up one day and realize you've spent years chasing things that don't actually matter to you. And here's something else to think about. Reflection isn't just about your goals, it's also about your habits. The small things you do every day without thinking. Because your habits are shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. If you have good habits, they will push you forward. But if you have bad habits, they will hold you back. And if you never take the time to reflect on them, you might not even realize that the very things you do every day are the things keeping you from success. So take a step back. Look at your routine. Look at the things you do every day. Ask yourself, are these habits helping me or hurting me? Are they making me stronger or making me weaker? Are they leading me towards success or keeping me stuck? And if you find that you have habits that aren't serving you, don't ignore them. Change them. Because if you don't, they will control your life. This is what daily reflection does for you. It helps you see what's working and what's not. It helps you make adjustments before you get too far off track. It keeps you focused on what really matters, so that you don't waste years chasing the wrong things. And the best part, it's simple. It doesn't require anything fancy. It doesn't cost money. It doesn't take a lot of time. All it takes is a commitment to stop, think, and be honest with yourself. If you start doing this every day, even for just a few minutes, you will notice a difference. You will feel more in control. You will make better decisions. You will stop wasting time on things that don't matter. And you will start seeing real progress toward your goals. Because success doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you take control of your time, your actions, and your focus. And that starts with reflection. Number 6, taking control of your attention. When was the last time you felt like you were truly in control of your own attention? Not just for a few minutes, but for an entire day. When was the last time you woke up, decided what you were going to focus on, and actually followed through, without letting distractions pull you in 100 different directions? For most people, that kind of day is rare. and I understand why. The world we live in today is designed to steal your attention. Everywhere you look, something is trying to grab it. Your phone, your email, social media, advertisements, notifications, other people's demands. It's a constant battle, and if you're not intentional about it, you'll lose. You'll get to the end of the day, exhausted, wondering where the time went, realizing that once again, you were busy all day but accomplished almost nothing that actually mattered. And that's a dangerous pattern, because days like that turn into weeks, and weeks turn into years. And before you know it, your life has slipped by, and you're left with a pile of unfinished goals and unfulfilled potential. I want to tell you something that most people never think about. Your attention is your most valuable asset, not your money, not your resources, not your connections. It's your ability to focus, to direct your mental energy toward what really matters, to shut out the noise, and stay locked in on your goals. That's what creates success. That's what builds a meaningful life. But the problem is most people give their attention away for free. They don't protect it. They don't manage it. They just react to whatever comes their way, letting the world decide what they think about, what they work on, what they care about. And that's a mistake, because if you don't take control of your attention, someone else will. So how do you take control of your attention? The first step is realizing that it's a skill. It's not something you're born with or without. It's something you train. And just like building a muscle, it takes time and effort. But once you develop it, it changes everything. You become more productive, more creative, more focused. You start making real progress, not just staying busy. And the best part is, you start feeling in control of your life, instead of feeling like life is controlling you. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to control their attention is that they never set clear priorities. They wake up and go straight into reaction mode, checking their phone, responding to messages, putting out fires. They let the day decide for them what's important, instead of deciding for themselves. But if you want to take control, you have to start each day with intention. You have to ask yourself, what actually matters today? What are the few things that if I get them done, will make the biggest difference? And then you focus on those things. Not everything, not whatever's easiest, the most important thing. And you protect that time like your life depends on it. Because in a way it does. Another key to taking control of your attention is learning to say no. And I know for a lot of people, that's hard. We're taught to be agreeable, to be available, to say yes to every request, every invitation, every opportunity. But here's the truth. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to something that actually matters. And if you do that too often, your life fills up with things that don't move you forward, don't make you better, don't bring you closer to your goals. And then you wonder why you're not making progress. The most successful people aren't the ones who do the most. They're the ones who are the most selective. They guard their attention fiercely. They understand that their time and energy are limited, and they refuse to waste them on things that don't align with their vision. Now let's talk about distractions. Because even when you set clear priorities and say no to what doesn't matter, there will still be distractions trying to pull you off track. And the truth is, you can't eliminate distractions completely. They're always going to be there. But what you can do is build systems that make it easier to stay focused. One of the simplest and most powerful ways to do that is to create a distraction-free environment. If your phone is your biggest distraction, put it in another room when you're working. If social media keeps pulling you away, log out of your accounts, or use apps that block those sites during your most productive hours. If noise or interruptions are a problem, find a quiet space or use noise-canceling headphones. These small adjustments might not seem like a big deal, but they add up. Every distraction you eliminate gives you back a little more mental energy, a little more focus, a little more progress. And here's something that most people overlook. Controlling your attention isn't just about avoiding distractions. It's also about managing your energy, because focus takes energy. And if you're constantly running on empty, if you're not getting enough sleep, if you're eating poorly, if you're stressed out all the time, it's going to be almost impossible to stay focused, no matter how disciplined you try to be. That's why taking care of yourself isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. When you're well rested, when your body and mind are fueled properly, you have the mental clarity and stamina to stay locked in on what matters.
Now let me tell you something else that's important. Even when you do everything right, when you set clear priorities, when you eliminate distractions, when you manage your energy, there will still be times when your mind wants to wander. That's normal. The key is not to beat yourself up about it. The key is to catch yourself, gently bring your attention back to the task at hand, and keep going. Every time you do that, you're strengthening your focus muscle, and over time it gets easier. One of the most powerful things you can do to take control of your attention is to build rituals into your day that help you reset and refocus. Maybe that's a short meditation in the morning. Maybe it's a walk outside to clear your head in the afternoon. Maybe it's journaling at night to reflect on what you accomplished and what you want to do better tomorrow. These small moments of mindfulness help you stay grounded, help you stay connected to your purpose, and help you take back control when life tries to pull you in a million directions. At the end of the day, taking control of your attention is about making a decision to stop living in reaction mode, a decision to stop giving your focus away for free, a decision to start treating your time and energy like the precious resources they are. Because when you do that, everything changes. You stop feeling overwhelmed. You start making real progress. You start building momentum. And most importantly, you start living your life on your terms, instead of letting the world decide for you.
Number 7, staying focused when life gets tough. There's no denying that. If you've been living long enough, you know that things don't always go your way. Things don't always play out like you imagine. There are obstacles. There are setbacks. There are days when it feels like the whole world is against you. And there are times when it seems like no matter how hard you try, nothing is working. Nothing is moving forward. The thing is, when life gets tough, and it will get tough, you have a choice. You can either let it break you, or you can find a way to stay focused and push through. It's easy to stay motivated when everything is going well, when things are moving in the right direction. You wake up with energy, you dive into your work, your goals, and life feels good. But it's not always going to be like that. The road is full of bumps, twists, turns, and detours. Sometimes you're going to hit a wall. Sometimes things are going to get hard. And when that happens, you have to decide if you're going to stay the course or if you're going to let those challenges knock you off track. What I want to share with you today is how to stay focused when life gets tough, how to keep moving forward even when it feels like you can't. Because here's the truth. Staying focused when things aren't going well is what separates the winners from the losers. It's what turns ordinary people into extraordinary people. It's what makes people successful in the long run. Because anyone can stay motivated when things are going smoothly. But the real test of character, the real test of your strength, is how you handle adversity. The first thing you need to understand is that difficulties are inevitable. You're going to face them. You can't avoid them. You can't wish them away. But what you can do is control how you respond. Life is going to test you, but you don't have to let it destroy you. The key to staying focused when life gets tough is understanding that the challenges you face aren't roadblocks. They're opportunities. They're opportunities to grow, to learn, to become stronger. And the more you face these challenges head on, the better you'll get at handling them. The better you'll get at staying focused when everything around you seems to be falling apart. One of the most powerful ways to stay focused when life gets tough is to remember why you started. Think back to the very beginning. Why did you start this journey in the first place? What was the goal? What was the dream? What was the vision that got you excited? Reconnect with that. Reconnect with the passion and the purpose that made you say, I'm going to do this no matter what. It's easy to lose sight of that when things get difficult, but it's still there. It's still waiting for you to tap into it. If you can remind yourself why you started, it will give you the strength to keep going, even when things aren't going as planned. Another key to staying focused during tough times is to focus on what you can control. Life has a way of throwing things at us that we can't control, whether it's an unexpected setback, a difficult situation, or something completely out of your hands. But what you can always control is how you respond. You can control your attitude. You can control your actions. You can control your effort. Don't waste your energy trying to control things that are outside of your control. Instead, put your energy into what you can control, how you think, how you act, and what you do next. That's where your power lies. It's also important to stay focused on the next step. When things are tough, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. You look at the bigger picture, and it feels like there's so much to do, so much to fix, so much to solve. But here's the thing. You don't have to solve everything at once. You don't have to fix everything right now. Just focus on the next step. Focus on what you can do today to move forward. It might be small, it might not feel like much, but every small step forward is progress. And before you know it, those small steps will add up, and you'll be closer to your goal than you were before. Another key to staying focused when life gets tough is to have the right mindset. When things aren't going well, it's easy to fall into a negative mindset. You start to think that maybe you're not cut out for this. Maybe you should just quit. Maybe you're not good enough. But that's not true. Every successful person you look up to, every person who's achieved something great, has faced tough times. They've faced challenges. They've faced setbacks. But what made them different is that they didn't let those setbacks define them. They didn't let those challenges stop them. They kept going, even when it was hard. And so can you. You also have to remember that tough times don't last forever. No matter how difficult things may seem, right now they won't stay this way forever. Things will change. The obstacles will pass. And when you get through this tough time, you'll be stronger, wiser, and more resilient because of it. The tough times are what shape you. They teach you lessons that you wouldn't learn otherwise. They make you stronger than you were before. So don't be afraid of them. Embrace them. Learn from them. And keep moving forward. It's also important to take care of yourself during tough times. It's easy to get so caught up in your work and your goals that you forget to take care of your physical and emotional well-being. But if you don't take care of yourself, you won't have the energy or the strength to keep pushing through. Make sure you're getting enough rest. Make sure you're eating right. Make sure you're taking time to relax and recharge. When you take care of yourself, you're better equipped to handle whatever life throws your way. And lastly, don't be afraid to ask for help. Sometimes when life gets tough, you try to do everything on your own. You think you have to handle it all by yourself. But that's not true. You don't have to do everything alone. Reach out to someone you trust. Ask for support. Get advice. Talk to someone who can help you see things from a different perspective. Asking for help doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. It shows that you're willing to do whatever it takes to move forward. When life gets tough, and it will get tough, you have two choices. You can let it knock you down, or you can use it as fuel to get stronger. You can let it defeat you, or you can use it as a stepping stone to success. The choice is yours. You have the power to stay focused, to keep pushing forward, and to achieve your goals, no matter how tough life gets. The question is, will you? Will you stay focused and keep going? Or will you give up when things get hard? The choice is yours. But let me tell you something. If you stay focused, if you keep moving forward, you will reach your destination. And when you look back, you'll realize that it was all worth it. Every tough moment, every challenge, every setback, because you didn't give up. And that's what makes you a winner. Number 8. Developing a focused morning routine. The way you start your day can shape everything that follows. A strong, focused morning sets the tone for success. Without a doubt, your mornings are powerful. What you do or don't do first thing impacts your entire day, your energy, your mindset, and even your productivity. This is why it's so important to develop a morning routine that supports your goals, your ambitions, and your purpose. If you're like most people, mornings can feel rushed. The alarm goes off, you drag yourself out of bed, and you start reacting to the day instead of actively setting the tone. But this doesn't have to be your reality. The truth is you have control over your mornings. You can set them up to win. And the best part is, it doesn't have to be complicated or overwhelming. You just need to start somewhere and commit to it. I'm going to share with you why your morning routine is so important, and how to develop one that will set you up for success every single day. We all know the importance of starting the day right. Think about it. When you wake up feeling rushed, stressed, or unprepared, everything else seems harder. Your focus is scattered.
your productivity takes a hit, and your energy level isn't where it needs to be. Now, on the other hand, when you wake up feeling prepared, grounded, and energized, you attack the day with a sense of purpose. You move through your tasks with clarity and intention. This is the power of a morning routine. You might be thinking, but I'm not a morning person. I get it. I've heard that from countless people. But let me tell you, becoming a morning person isn't about forcing yourself to wake up at 5 a.m. If that's not your thing, it's about creating a morning routine that energizes and empowers you, no matter what time you wake up. It's about giving yourself a solid start. When you have a routine that works for you, mornings don't feel overwhelming. They feel like an opportunity to take charge. Let's talk about what a powerful morning routine can do for you. First, it gives you a sense of control. You're not immediately jumping into chaos. When you wake up and decide what you want to do first thing, you begin the day with a sense of intention and purpose. This is huge. Too many people allow external circumstances to dictate how their day goes. You don't have to let that happen. When you have a morning routine, you take back control. Second, a morning routine helps you focus on what matters. Think about how often you waste time in the mornings, checking social media, mindlessly scrolling, or getting lost in your emails. These distractions eat up precious time that you could be using to focus on your goals. A morning routine takes the guesswork out of what you should do first. It clears your mind and directs your energy toward the important things. Another thing a good morning routine does is help you get ahead. If you wake up early, you have time to set your day up right. You can prioritize your most important tasks, exercise, read, or work on something that moves you closer to your goals. Imagine the momentum you can build by starting the day strong. There's nothing like waking up with a plan, knowing exactly what you need to do, and feeling ready to tackle the day. Let's break it down a little more. The first thing I recommend is to wake up with intention. Instead of letting your phone be the first thing you reach for, start with something that grounds you. It could be something as simple as taking a few deep breaths, expressing gratitude, or setting a clear goal for the day. This doesn't take long. Just a few minutes of mindfulness can set the tone for the entire day. The next thing I recommend is moving your body. I know some people don't like to exercise in the morning, and that's okay. But even a short walk or a bit of stretching can get your blood flowing and help you feel more awake. Physical movement has a massive impact on your energy levels. It wakes you up and gets you in the right state of mind. Even if you only do 10 minutes of light exercise, it can boost your mood, focus, and overall energy for hours. Another key aspect of a successful morning routine is fueling your body with the right kind of food. After a long night of rest, your body needs proper nutrition to get going. A healthy breakfast gives you the fuel you need to tackle your tasks. Whether it's a smoothie, oatmeal, or eggs, the goal is to nourish yourself with something that provides energy and sustains you throughout the morning. When you eat well, you feel well, and you're able to bring your best to everything you do. Now let's talk about something really important: your mindset. A morning routine should include something that sets your mental state up for success. This could be journaling, reading a chapter from a book, or even listening to a podcast that inspires you. Whatever it is, it should help you get in the right frame of mind. You need to feel positive, focused, and ready to take on whatever the day throws your way. I also want to highlight the importance of limiting distractions early on. It's tempting to check your phone as soon as you wake up, but it's not always the best idea. Social media, emails, and news can be overwhelming first thing in the morning. Instead, use the first few moments of your day to center yourself. Wait to dive into the distractions until you've spent some time getting focused and aligned with your priorities. A powerful morning routine doesn't have to be long. You don't have to spend hours meditating or working out. The key is consistency. You need to develop a morning routine that you can stick to every single day. It's not about being perfect. It's about building a habit. The more consistent you are, the more you'll see the benefits, and eventually it will become second nature. I want to emphasize something really important. Your morning routine isn't just about productivity. It's about creating a strong foundation for the day, and ultimately your life, Your routine sets you up for success, not just in terms of getting things done, but in terms of how you show up for yourself and for others. A good morning routine supports your well-being, your growth, and your ability to handle whatever challenges come your way. So here's what I want you to do. Start with small steps. Don't try to overhaul your entire morning right away. Pick one thing you can do consistently. Maybe it's waking up 5 minutes early, or it's having a cup of water before checking your phone, or even taking a few deep breaths before you get out of bed. Once you've mastered that, add something else. Over time, you'll have a morning routine that serves you. You'll feel grounded, focused, and energized, and you'll be ready to face the day with confidence. Remember, how you start your day is how you live your life. If you want to achieve your goals, build momentum, and create a life you love, your morning routine is where it all begins. Take control of your mornings, and you'll start taking control of your life. The small changes you make today will have a huge impact on your tomorrow. Your future starts now, so start right where you are. Create a morning routine that sets you up for success, and make each day count. It's the best way to live with purpose, to stay focused, and to achieve everything you've ever dreamed of.
Number 9, cutting out excuses and taking action. We all have them. In fact, we're experts at creating them. There's a whole list of reasons we come up with to avoid doing what we know we should be doing. But here's the truth. Excuses are the silent killers of progress. They keep us stuck. They keep us from reaching our potential. And I'm going to tell you something right now. You have the power to stop making excuses and start taking action. Let's be real for a minute. Excuses are so easy. They come naturally to us. I don't have enough time. I'm not ready yet. It's not the right time. We tell ourselves these things over and over, and guess what? They start to feel true. But here's the thing. None of these excuses are actually real. They're just stories we tell ourselves to stay comfortable. And comfort, let me tell you, is not where growth happens. If you want to move forward in life, you have to make a decision. You have to decide that you're not going to allow yourself to make excuses anymore. That's when things start to change. When you stop making excuses, you open up space for progress. You start taking action. You begin to realize that everything you want in life is right there within your reach. But it's not going to happen if you keep putting it off. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself that you would start tomorrow or that you'd work on it later? How many times have you said, I'll wait until I feel ready? We've all been there. We've all been stuck in the cycle of procrastination, telling ourselves we'll get to it eventually. But the truth is, waiting for the perfect moment is just another excuse. The perfect moment doesn't exist. You're never going to feel completely ready. You're never going to have everything figured out. But that's okay. You don't need all the answers to take the first step. This is the key. You have to take action before you feel ready. You have to get comfortable with the idea of starting, even when everything isn't perfect. That's how progress is made. That's how successful people do it. They start, even when they don't have it all together. They don't wait for the stars to align. They don't wait for the perfect circumstances. They just take that first step, and then the next, and then the next. The biggest lie we tell ourselves is that we need more time. I'll start next week. Once I get through this busy period, I'll get to it. But here's the truth. Time is not the problem. It's how we choose to use the time we have. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's how you decide to spend those hours that makes the difference. If you want something bad enough, you will make the time. And if you're being honest with yourself, you know that there's time. You might have to sacrifice a little TV time or scrolling through social media, but the time is there. You just have to decide to use it for something that matters. And you know what else? You're going to have to get rid of the perfectionist mindset. So many people put off their goals because they're waiting for everything to be perfect. They want to have the perfect plan, the perfect environment, the perfect everything before they start. But here's the truth. Perfection is a lie. Perfection is just another excuse. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. You have to be willing to put in the work, even when things aren't ideal. Starting is what matters. The rest will come with time. But here's the most powerful part of all. When you stop making excuses and start taking action, you'll feel empowered. It's like a switch flips in your mind. You'll start to see that you are capable of so much more than you realized. You'll start to see that the life you want is right there within your reach, but only if you're willing to take that first step. It's in the action that the magic happens. It's when you push past the excuses that you find out what you're really made of. And let me tell you, when you experience that feeling of taking action and seeing progress, it's a feeling like no other. It builds momentum, it builds confidence, and it builds the life you want. Now, I know this isn't easy. I know it's not always simple to put aside the excuses and take action. But here's the thing, you don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to tackle everything in one day. But you can start today. Even if it's just one small thing, do it. Take one step, and then tomorrow, take another. Every action, no matter how small, moves you closer to your goals, and soon those small actions will add up to big results. And here's the thing about excuses. They never stop coming. Life will always throw new challenges your way. There will always be reasons to hold back, reasons to procrastinate, reasons to delay. But you have to make a commitment to yourself. You have to decide that no matter what, you are going to take action. You're going to move forward. You're going to do it even if it's hard. And when you make that commitment, things will change. You will start to see the difference in your life. But don't just take my word for it. Look at the people who've achieved great things. They didn't get there by making excuses. They got there by taking action. Imperfect, messy, and sometimes difficult action. And that's how they made progress. That's how they built the life they wanted. And you can do the same. The next time you find yourself making an excuse, stop, pause. Ask yourself if this excuse is really serving you. Ask yourself if it's keeping you on the path you want to be on. Because the truth is, excuses will always be there, but you don't have to let them control you. You don't have to let them dictate your future. You have the power to move past them, and you have the power to take action. Number 10, learning to focus on what you can control. When we talk about focus, one of the most important concepts to understand is the idea of focusing on what you can control. We live in a world where there are countless things happening around us that are completely outside of our control. The economy, the weather, other people's actions. There are so many things that we simply cannot change, no matter how much we wish we could. And here's the truth. Spending time worrying about these things is a waste. It's draining. It's unproductive. It holds you back from achieving what you want and living the life you're capable of living. The first step is to accept this reality. You have to recognize that there are forces in the world that you simply cannot control, and that's okay. The sooner you let go of trying to control things that are out of your hands, the more energy and attention you'll have to focus on the things that matter most, things you can actually do something about. Now, I'm not saying that you should just ignore the world around you or pretend that it doesn't exist. Of course, you have to stay informed and aware. But what I am saying is that you need to put your energy into areas where you can make a real difference. Starting with the one thing that is always in your control, yourself. You can control how you respond to challenges. You can control your attitude. You can control your effort. You can control how you treat people, how you invest your time, and how you pursue your goals. The decisions you make every single day shape your future, and no one can take that away from you. Think about it. How often do we find ourselves getting caught up in things that are beyond our control? We get upset over things that happen to us, things that other people do, things we have no say in. And while it's natural to feel frustrated or angry, spending your time dwelling on what you can't change won't help you move forward. In fact, it keeps you stuck. Instead, when you focus on what you can control, you start to gain power over your life. You start to feel more confident, more capable, and more in control of your own destiny. You take responsibility for your actions, your choices, and your results. And that's where the magic happens. Now let's talk about what focusing on what you can control looks like in practice. First, let's talk about your mindset. How do you respond when things go wrong? Do you throw in the towel and give up? Or do you take a deep breath and ask yourself, what can I do about this? The second option is always the better choice. When you focus on how you can solve a problem or overcome an obstacle, you empower yourself. You're not just letting life happen to you, you're taking charge. But mindset is just the beginning. What else can you control?
You can control your time. Time is one of the most valuable resources you have, and how you spend it makes a huge difference in your life. Do you spend your time on things that align with your goals? Do you prioritize what's truly important to you? Or do you get distracted by things that don't move you forward? If you want to be successful, you need to take control of your time. This means eliminating distractions and saying no to things that don't serve you. It means setting boundaries, being intentional with your day, and making sure that the time you spend is in alignment with your values and priorities. You can't control everything that comes your way, but you can control how you respond to it, and you can control how you use your time. And that's where your power lies. Another area you can control is your effort. Success is not about luck or waiting for the perfect opportunity. It's about showing up and putting in the work every day. No matter what, you might not always feel motivated, and that's okay. Motivation comes and goes, but effort is something you can control every single day. You get to decide whether you're going to push through the hard days or give in to the excuses. When you make the decision to show up, even when it's tough, you're taking control. You're saying, no matter how I feel, I'm going to give this my best. And that's what leads to real progress. Small, consistent efforts add up over time. You won't see the results overnight, but if you keep going day in and day out, the progress will come. And then there's the way you treat others. You can't control how people treat you, but you can control how you treat others. Your words, your actions, your attitude. These are all things you can control, and they matter more than you might realize. The way you treat others has a ripple effect. When you're kind, when you listen, when you show up for people, you build strong relationships, and you create an environment of trust and respect. This is something you can always control, no matter what's happening in the world around you. But let's take a deeper look. We've talked about mindset, time, effort, and how you treat others. Now let's talk about your personal growth. You can control how much you learn and how much you grow. No one can stop you from reading that book, taking that course, or learning that new skill. You have access to so many resources that can help you grow, both personally and professionally. The key is to decide that you are going to invest in yourself. It's not enough to just hope for things to change. You have to take action. You have to make a conscious effort to improve and expand your knowledge. Here's the beauty of it all. The more you focus on what you can control, the more empowered you become. You stop giving away your energy to things you can't change. You stop blaming others or complaining about circumstances. Instead, you take responsibility. And when you do that, you create your own opportunities. You take charge of your life. One thing I want to emphasize is that it's important to let go of the need for perfection. A lot of times we avoid taking action because we're waiting for the right moment or the perfect conditions. But here's the truth: perfection doesn't exist. The only thing that matters is that you start, focus on what you can control, take that first step, and keep moving forward. Progress is what matters, not perfection. I want you to walk away from this with a clear message. Focus on what you can control. Don't waste another minute on things that are outside of your power. Take control of your mindset, your time, your effort, the way you treat others, and your personal growth. And when you do this, you'll realize that you have everything you need to create the life you want. You have the power within you to shape your own future. So stop waiting for the world to change and start making the changes you want to see. Focus on what you can control and watch everything else fall into place.